Well, thank you very much for all your kind comments and things on my last video. Pleased to say it earned me $17, so I'm going to do a follow-up to it so I can get another $17 and perhaps afford a bottle of cheap wine. How's that for a bonus, eh? But it's nice to know that I'm not on my own. There's an awful lot of you out there don't believe this climate change nonsense. I think I might get some badges made and say I don't believe in climate change, because no matter what we do, there'll still be a climate. The climate change terminology, it covers all bases. It really does. If it gets too hot, climate change. Gets too cold, climate change. And we've got this, well, a lot of people have got this fixation by reducing CO2 is going to make things better. Rubbish. What about all the CO2 in the sea? What are you going to do there? You're going to get rid of that? It's nonsense. We've had CO2 on this planet at higher levels many thousands of years ago. But Mike, it's going to get hotter. Greta Thunberg said to little kids that the Earth is going to burn.
How dare you?
Poor little kid, 5, 6 years old, going home telling the parents, "Oh, buy an electric car because the Earth's going to burn." Absolute nonsense. Don't people think critically anymore? Don't they actually think things through? Or they're just like sheep and think, "Oh yeah, we'll go through that, yeah. We'll buy an electric car, we'll get rid of our perfectly good diesel car, which has very low emissions now, and we'll get rid of that, we'll buy a new car." Really, electric cars, have you seen how much they depreciate? I'll put a picture up here of about a Citroen that's, what was it, £36,000 new, after 3 years or 36,000 miles, worth approximately £13,000, if you're lucky. I don't know, I think people are falling out of love with these electric cars now. And especially out here in Canada, when they're finding out, or in the States, they're finding out they're not what they're cracked up to be. Hertz, the car rental people, not Hertz Van Rental, the Dutch painter, they're getting rid of 20,000 electric cars. 20,000! Because nobody wants to rent them because of the range anxiety and charging infrastructure. It's like we've put the cart before the horse, isn't it? We've got the cars, but we haven't got the charging facilities. It's madness, isn't it? But what I feel sorry for is all these people getting into debt, loading themselves up in debt in order to buy these trinkets and things. Is it sort of the must-have thing? You know, fear of missing out? I don't know. I think it's all down to education myself. They're not taught very well at school. They're taught this CO2 thing is the thing to be. But they're not taught about history. This is what I'm trying to get out of this video, because you'll like this. As you know, I come from the northeast of England, and in Roman times it is well documented that the Romans used to grow grapes in the northeast of England, and especially up near Hadrian's Wall on the Scottish border almost. Now, it must have been bloody warm then to grow grapes, but where was all the CO2? Where was all the cars polluting and things like that? Did the Romans leave them in Rome? I don't know, might have done. And also frost fairs in London. When the Thames used to freeze over, what was it, from 1600 or something, late 1600s to about 1817, the Thames used to freeze over. So it must have been bloody cold for moving water to freeze. But where was the CO2 output? You know, that would have caused that. Did it? No, not at all. I was reading an interesting article about it. I'll put a link below. It's interesting. Read about the frost fairs, and they do say the temperature changed because of low sunspot activity and also volcanic activity combined together caused the temperature to fluctuate rather deeply, and it went for quite a long time. And I think that's why the sun has really got an effect on our planet, not just for heat, but the sunspots as well. Low sunspots, bad weather. Makes sense, doesn't it? I don't know what it's like now, I never really checked. But one thing I was wanting to say to you is about this carbon stuff. There's a good phrase in Latin, cui bono, who benefits? Who benefits from all this? Because it certainly isn't us. We pay, they play. Who's there? Well, all the grifters and people associated with the grifters. Now, if you're in the UK, you don't know what a grifter is, it's like a con man. Just to put it so you could understand, Meghan Markle and Harry are perfect examples of grifters. They get paid an awful lot of money for being them. They don't actually do anything. People pay them in advance to do nothing. So look at Al Gore, grifter, he's a grifter. Multi-millionaire. He's done quite well out of the climate change thing. This is the man in 2006 with his Inconvenient Truth film that got all the world shit scared with his hockey stick graph. You know, the CO2 is going to go like this and the ice caps are going to melt and the sea's going to rise 20 feet. Later on he said the seas are going to boil. Make your mind up. This is the man in 2009 bought a waterfront property. This is the same man who has houses in the Midwest, I do believe Colorado, could be wrong, that uses as much electricity as a small village. He's not bothered. Multimillionaire, who cares? John Kerry, the United States climate ambassador, flies all over the world to go to meetings and things like this in his private jet, all over. Thousands and thousands of tons of CO2, but it's okay because he offsets them. He buys credits from other countries apparently. I don't know really how it works, but that's how it works. He can pollute, but it doesn't really matter. But the best grifter of all is Greta Thunberg. You should Google Greta Thunberg net worth. You'd be surprised. I was shocked. My jaw went, ugh. She's a multimillionairess. Not bad for a kid who flunked school, never went to school, went on strike because of climate change. I don't know how they get away with it. Honestly, millions, they get millions. And they don't really do anything, do they? They just repeat parrot fashion these things. They've got no facts to back anything up. They just say, cut down on CO2 and the earth will be saved. You'll never save the earth because it's always changing. 5 billion years time it won't be here. So then what? I know we have to be clear. Listen, don't get me wrong. I know we have to be responsible and things like this, and we're not burning oil in our cars. You never see cars now going down the street like we used to do in the 60s and 70s, great big clouds of blue smoke. You don't see that anymore. Diesel trucks are great big plumes of black smoke bellowing out of them. You don't see that. We've cleaned up our act. How much more do we want? Well, we want you to have electric cars. But they want you to have electric cars simply because they don't have any emissions. Yeah, but the emissions aren't here. They're over there. They're over there, they're over there. All the production of these electric cars soak up an enormous amount of energy. But you don't see that. You should look at how lithium's mined in Bolivia, using great big diesel trucks to rip off the earth to get to this lithium for your batteries. And you say, oh yes, but the batteries can be recycled. Yeah, but what cost? That's the problem. How much does it cost to recycle a battery? All they do is grind it all up and hope they can get a little bit of a lithium out of it. It's pointless. But again, these companies who do this recycling get paid millions of dollars and pounds to do this in subsidies. If the subsidies didn't exist, none of these bloody climate change things would happen. And it's our tax money paying that. I would like to say what my tax money pays, instead of paying for all that nonsense that doesn't really benefit me. Look, in England, heat pumps, what a waste of bloody time they are. Take out your gas boiler. Oh, gas, oh, CO2. Gas boilers have never been more efficient in their life. What, they're about 97% efficiency. What more do you want? But no, you've got to take them out and put a heat pump in. And the government, oh, we'll give you £7,500 in order to get your heat pump. And there's so many people who've got buyer's remorse about having heat pumps put in because they're not very efficient. Today in Canada, this morning it was -20. And I've got my wood boiler on there, and I know it works. But again, it's wood pellets, like the burning Drax, kind of efficient. But that's what I'm trying to say. You've got people now who've got themselves into a lot of debt to get these energy saving things and, you know, climate change approved bits and bobs that people are just getting into hock for nothing. That's what I'm saying about education. I don't think people are really educated. They don't think it through. They think, oh look, I'm very noble. I've got myself a heat pump and an electric car and solar panels. Yeah, but you're in debt. I don't know. I don't know what people are thinking. I don't know. Heat pumps here in Canada and I think in Scandinavian countries do work a bit better because it's extremely dry cold. Here, I know one or two people who do get away with heat pumps, but when it gets like today, they'll have to put the electric on to top it up. It's all to do with the like I said, the humidity in the air. I think in England it's too damp for a heat pump. As soon as it gets cold, they'll all start going on a heating cycle, which means more electricity to defrost them. That makes sense, doesn't it? Anyway, I don't know. I really don't know where this world's going to. I had a chat with my mate Mark the other day, and we sort of both agreed that we're glad that we're at our age now, rather than being 16 or 17 and setting off on life's journey, because it's so restrictive now. Honestly, we haven't got the freedoms we had when in the, well, like the turn of the century there. That's all gone. You know, in the 90s, 80s and 90s was great compared to now. But I don't know. I don't know where it's going. Don't ask me any answers. I don't know. But I think it's all to get us impoverished and debt and slaves to the system. It might be a conspiracy theory, but that's what I believe it is. Slaves to the system. There must be something behind this farming malarkey, wanting to shut farmers down, get rid of animals because they fart. There must be something behind that, because it doesn't make any sense. We need more farmers, if anything, not less. Food prices are going through the bloody roof, and they say, well, the supermarket's making so much profit. Yes, it is, and they're not passing it on to the farmers. That's what one of my gripes is. Be fair to farmers. Buy from farm shops wherever you can. Miss out the bloody supermarkets, because they only sell modified crap anyway. Oh, dear me. I'm going to have to go and lie down in a darkened room. See you later.